Welcome to Does the Team Think? Hello, I'm Vic Reeves and welcome to Does the Team Think? The programme where our assembled group of blithering idiots take questions from you, the audience, and try their very best to come up with a vaguely relevant answer. They may, on the other hand, simply fart and go back to sleep. On this week's show, it's the man with the 3D face, Jack D. Also featuring the rightful heir to the throne of St. McBumfluffery, Julian Clary. There he is. Lock up your Labradors. It's Ulrika Jonsson. And finally, weaving a mysterious tapestry of taut gossamer threads, it's Bob Mortimer. So let's get on with the show and have our first question from the lady there, wearing a beguiling hat, which apparently looks like it's made from toffee. What's your question?
Hi, my name is Arlene and my question is, does the team have a favourite takeaway food and why?
Thank you, Arlene. All right, then, does the team have a favourite takeaway food and why? You look like you've recently enjoyed a Chinese, Jack, judging by that noodle on your chin.
Well, everywhere you go, it's the same. It tastes the same. And I've come to the conclusion that underneath, we're in London now, for instance, but underneath London, deep underground, I think there's one kitchen where they make it all. And then shoot it through pipes up to all the different outlets all around London, because it tastes the same everywhere you go. I found one Chinese restaurant that does organic Chinese takeaway, and I thought that's fantastic. So we had it once, and it was delicious, and you didn't feel like you're going to be sick all over the bed in the night. And then we rang them again to get another one, a second Chinese takeaway. We fancied one for the second time. And they said they don't deliver there anymore. They haven't got, the council won't let them deliver there. And we said, well, why not? I said, well, because they're not in the area. And I said, well, that's terrible. Just 'cause he said, no, we can't get a licence. And I said, but surely something can be done. And then he said, yeah, but, someone got killed, so that was that.
Bob, what do you like? You like takeaways. I know what you like, KFC.
I like mackerel and broad beans, Vic. Every time.
But do you get that to take away?
Well, it's a kind of
What a great outlet that'd be, wouldn't it?
Well, it's, if you take... I've heard that there is a brand that has a tinned carrot, but it's tinned carrot, just one carrot in a tin. And that's the kind of takeaway that could get you excited.
It's a takeaway in a tin. Ulrika, I expect you spend a lot of time in the takeaways around your parish.
That's Clary. We have got the best Indian cuisine, I believe, in the village, and occasionally we do indulge in a takeaway. And
last time, delivered?
Last time I did, no, it brought on a baby.
Really?
Indeed it did, yes. My water broke.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so it brought it on?
Yes.
It didn't create it?
It brought on a baby.
Julian, what about takeaways in your area?
When I left home, my mother made me promise never to buy takeaway food in the conventional sense, and I do think it's common. And the whole thing of the packaging and the polystyrene wrappers, and you might be tempted to eat it without using cutlery. That's all very upsetting. I think maybe the exception would be fish and chips. And although recently I found myself in a place called Sandgate in Kent. Are you familiar?
I know it very well, yeah.
And there's a nice fish and chip shop there, and I got some fish and chips, and it was me, the boyfriend, and the dog, and it was raining, and we sat in the car looking at the grey sea, eating fish and chips, and I just wanted to kill myself.
I know that fish and chip shop. It's very good. And do you know, I sat in my car with a packet of chips from that very same chip shop, and I had like a lot of vinegar on mine, and it seeped through onto my trousers, like groin area. And then I went off to a party, and people had thought that I'd wet myself.
Yes.
So I invited them. I said, no, it's vinegar. Have a sniff. And that's perfectly true, actually.
I don't like these places that are really meant to be the best fish and chips in the area. I hate that. It really annoys me. You go to someone's house and they say, oh, we've got the best Chinese takeaway in the area. It's unbelievable. Because it never is. It's always rubbish. It's always the same as everywhere else.
Well, we've got
and
a lot
you feel
more
like
to
going
talk
around
about.
there. So if you're so good at cooking, open a restaurant, do it properly.
So do you head for the one that says the worst fish and chips?
Because then I'm not getting around with them. It won't bother me that they're not that very good.
Can you get
because they've found their station in life.
Anyway, let's move on to the next question. It's the last there with the ice cream cone on her face. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is James, and I would like to ask, what does the team think is the secret to a long life?
What's the secret to a long life? Is it nouvelle cuisine, regular brushing, or simply fire?
I'll tell you what it is, it's tin carrots.
Is it? Didn't you set fire to a fox once?
No, I've never... I've set fire to... I've set fire to a lot of things. I've set fire to my family home, burnt it down completely. I set fire to a picturesque village in the North Yorkshire moors called Lilo. You may know it.
Did you set fire to that?
Set fire to Lilo, that was me. But I've given up on it now, and I'm still alive.
Jack, what about you?
What is the secret to a long life?
Secret to a long life, you know, the elixir of life, if you like.
Basically, you have to wait till you're really, really old before you die. and then you've cracked it, really, haven't you?
That's it, is it?
That's it. Just wait. Just wait. Be patient. Don't do anything too risky. And Bob's your uncle.
Ulrika, how do you prolong your life? Because you've done pretty good up to now. What are you now? You're well into your 50s, aren't you?
Nearly 60 now, and I find pharmaceutical drugs tend to work very well for me.
What, aspirins?
Maybe you should buy some condoms next time.
Actually, for your information, Bob, children keep you young.
Do they? Who?
I don't know.
Don't you have a well in your garden that you can dive into?
I keep my children. Fish them out. Come and have a look.
Well, you look fairly young.
Do I?
Is it all makeup?
Yeah. There's a thick layer on here. You know I don't wear makeup.
I know you don't wear makeup. You look marvellous, darling. What about you? You look lovely, Julian. How do you keep so young? Because you actually are very old. But you look so sprightly and fresh. Your complexion's marvellous, Julian.
Yeah.
What do you apply?
I exfoliate quite often.
Do you?
So do I, but it does take the top layer of your skin off.
That's the idea. That's what it means.
I'm bleeding normally when at home I've finished.
Do you use proper stuff or just sand?
Paper. Sandpaper.
What do you use to exfoliate? Have you got any recipes for a good exfoliator?
No, exfoliating cream that you buy.
Salt scrub is very good.
Salt scrub.
What is it?
No, we're not
talking
talking about that shower gel with bits of stuff in it, are we?
Oh,
That's horrible, isn't it?
apricot peel.
You get a handful of that and wipe it all over. You think someone's been messing around with your shower gel. It doesn't feel nice at all.
You have to be careful where you scrub.
Doesn't do you any good either. I mean, it just like you come out feeling dirtier than when you went in.
So, let's have another question.
I haven't finished with my long...
Oh, sorry, Julian, of course we were talking about your exfoliation.
Yes, we got distracted. I only wanted to say that I had a dog, Fanny the Wonder Dog, who lived a very long life. She was 19. Anyway, she ate pedigree chum. So it could be that is the secret.
What is that? Just bits of old meat and gravy?
Yeah.
This actually sounds nice. Have you got another dog now?
Valerie.
Do you love her as much?
She's been around a while, hasn't she?
Valerie's been around for about 8 years, but she has no talent.
What was Fanny's
Then
talent?
we must kill her.
Fanny's talent, she could impersonate the Pope and the Duchess of York.
I remember seeing you in about 1983.
Yeah.
Somewhere in New Cross, and she just sat there. She didn't do any impersonations. I was very disappointed and lost my money back. The next question comes from that pious-looking costermonger there. What's your name and what's your question?
My name's Tim. Does the team think they will make a good boss?
Does the team think that they make a good boss? Ulrika, do you treat your servants with
My
respect?
staff are treated appallingly.
Or contempt?
I think I'd make a terrible boss.
How many slaves have you got in your house?
There's a long list on my payroll. No.
You've got slaves, I know you, I've seen them.
My husband's. My biggest husband.
Shoveling all day long, shoveling that muck up in your garden. Have you ever been a boss? Perhaps in a shoe shop or something like that?
No, I've worked in a library.
Did you? Were you the boss there?
No.
Was this in Sweden?
Just a Saturday assistant.
Julian, You must have been a boss somewhere.
No, you need to be a proper alpha male to be a boss, and I'm not. You get called boss sometimes, don't you, by people who come and wash your windscreen at traffic lights. They think that makes you feel.
You want your
better
windscreen
about
washed, boss?
Yeah.
A lot like Max from Heart to Heart. I like your industry.
He didn't call me boss, mind you, I never tipped him, so...
What about you, Bob? You got servants in your house?
I haven't got servants
downstairs.
No, I've got a family. I try, and I'm not. I try.
Are you the boss of your family?
No, that's
No,
they
you could
ignore
never
me
be a boss of
completely.
anything.
Even the dog. When the dog looks at me, I can tell that all he's seeing is a big question mark. I'm wondering why is he bothering?
Where to bite you next?
I have no authority.
Jack, you look like a very bossy type.
Well, no, I'm my own boss because I work for myself, and I've worked for myself for a long time, and mostly that works out. I had to leave recently because of office politics, you know. I just got the feeling I was after my job. It wasn't working, and I was spending too much time just chatting about last night's telly and stuff. I tried to do something, but I got rid of the water cooler. I thought that would help, but I was still just talking to myself incessantly. So anyway, I got called in, and I just said to myself, cut it out, or you're out.
Sling your hook.
Yeah. So I'm a tough boss.
Let's move on to the next question then, which comes from the Peter Purvis lookalike sitting next to the Valerie Singleton lookalike. You two there, yeah. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Steve. Does the team think that they normally win arguments?
Oh, Steve says, does the team normally win arguments? I expect you've got plenty of rows with the grocers, Julian.
No, I never argue. I don't hold with it. I don't raise my voice. I don't feel the need. I don't get that aggressive urge. Except.
You never have a go at your gardener?
No, not in any sense. But I was walking my dog Valerie in the park recently. Yeah. And a boxer dog came and attacked her, and I found I have got it in me somewhere, you know, because I
kick your dog.
I got very aggressive towards the owner of this boxer, and I shouted at her, and I called her a stupid woman. And I was so surprised, and in a way rather proud.
Ulrika, what about you? Do you win arguments? I bet you do, don't you? You and Brian got it like knives, in a verbal sense.
He doesn't argue, actually.
Have you ever lost an argument?
I doubt it. I really doubt it.
Do you scream and shout, then?
I'm not much of a screamer. I have a little razor.
Oh, it's too much information.
Bob, what about you?
I don't know what to say. I've never had an argument in my life.
You've never had a row,
you're a mouse.
There's something happens in your early years, you know, whether you can do it or you can't. And I was the fourth of four boys. I was the fourth of four boys. I learned to
So did you let them do the arguing?
Well, I just didn't. Oh, we didn't argue with them when you're young because you get hit. So you never get the skills, really.
So what you must end up with like quite a sly approach then.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you become stealth and all that. Yeah.
So you just like hide in the shed and throw apples out.
Yeah.
Jack, do you have an argument with people?
No, I don't. I'm not an arguer either. I'm like Bob and everyone else who's said what Bob said.
Thank you for those words, and maybe I shall.
I had a few more, but obviously you want to move on.
Lob them in, Jack.
No, it's done now. The moment's gone.
Have you never had a row?
So he's not going to argue.
No.
We're both going to sulk.
Sulking, that's the thing to do, isn't it?
I have more to say, but I'm not going to argue it out and get my point across, you see. This is what I'm saying. See,
the answer is yes, we normally win arguments. Next question.
So we all none of us like to argue. That's lovely, isn't it? And the next question comes from the optimistic-looking lady there with a raffle ticket from 1935. What's your name and what's your question, love?
My name's Bijou, and I want to know, does the
Is it really Bijou?
Yeah, Bijou with an X.
Like stacks.
So...
Bijou?
Yeah.
Small?
No, it means jewels, but many.
It means what?
Jewellery.
Many jewels.
Does it really?
Bijou, yeah.
But with an X, it means many.
Many?
Many jewels.
Quite often you get jewellery
Many
shops that are
jewels.
called booze.
All right, so anyway, what's your question? Sorry, Jack, I didn't interrupt you.
No, I was just saying quite often you get jewellery shops that are called bijou. don't you, Bijou?
That's right. That's right, James.
Maybe you own the chain, I don't know.
She owns them all. What's your question, anyway?
Does the team embrace technology?
Does the team embrace technology? I suppose we're talking about radios, egg whisks, and... Jack, you must embrace technology in your line of work.
Oh, I definitely do. Yes, I do, Vic.
Microphones and the like.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I took to the microphone straight away when they came out.
Yeah.
And no, I don't like people who eschew technology and think it's clever to be a Luddite and say, oh, you know, like for instance with a mobile phone, and they say, oh, what does your mobile phone do? And you fall into the trap of saying, oh, it can do this and that and the other, and then they try and put you down and make you feel small by saying, oh, well, I'm afraid mine only makes phone calls. And it's just, well, why did you ask me if you think it's not a good thing? Of course I embrace it. If you don't, then don't annoy me with your lack of good mobile phone technology.
Jack, I have a mobile phone that does nothing.
That is very nice. Doesn't even make phone calls.
Look, he's displayed it as well. Mine does all sorts. It's got an egg whisk on it, a drill, a road drill as well. Not heavy duty road drill. So tell us more about your phone, Bob.
Well, there's nothing much to tell. That's the whole point of it. So I can pass Jack's Luddite test.
Yeah. It's held together with a bit of tape.
It's about the size of a brick, isn't it?
Got my number on the back. You know why that is?
So you can tell people what your number is.
Yeah, but you can't because you're like that. I hadn't thought that through.
But can you eat it?
I tell you what, though, technology-wise, I don't know whether it's like every little boy. I still remain fascinated by jetpacks and hover boots. But other than that, it doesn't really turn me on.
Yeah.
The mobile phone was actually based on the Mars bar, with an aerial needle sticking out of the top of it. Ulrika, technology and you, a marriage made in hell?
Indeed, it is a marriage made in hell. The situation is made worse by the fact that I hate reading instructions. So I want to get something and I want it to work straight away. And I think I'm cleverer than the instructions. So invariably I plug it in and think that it should be obvious that it should work.
Well, what you should do is get a man round to tell you the instructions, then perhaps marry him.
Be careful.
That's what I've done.
She's tooled up, you know.
Do you have trouble with washing machines? I have terrible trouble.
It's very, very funny you should say that. I had this summer, where my washing machine broke down for 3 weeks. And as a mother of 3 children with a baby, it wasn't one of the happiest times.
And what do you do about it?
Well,
so where did you wash the baby, then?
Well, get a washerwoman, that's what I do. Julian, what about you and technology?
My washing machine's working, but it's not... The clothes aren't as clean as they used to be.
Next question comes from the seething gentleman there, wearing the gin-soaked cravat. What's your name and what's your question?
My name's Matthew, and does the team think they look cool as teenagers?
I was just looking at your pyramid-shaped haircut there. It sounds almost as if I was really in Cairo. Julian, did you decorate your satchel with tinsel? Or were you just an old plain Norman?
I didn't have any friends or anything as a teenager, and so I had no kind of peer group to try and keep up with. And when I arrived at university at the age of 18, I was in sort of colour-coordinated slacks and jumpers. And fortunately, I met a girl called Linda who was in a punk band called Linda and Her Genitals. And, she gave me a bit of a makeover. She got rid of all my clothes and bleached my hair and took me to Oxfam and bought lots of sort of grandad shirts and braces and boots, and that was a kind of look that I stuck with for some time.
But you're very smart now, but you used to wear, like, silver pants and platforms and things, didn't you?
I did in my youth. It was the drugs. And I used to crimp my hair.
But was that a youthful thing, or was that later?
It was a cry for attention, but I only wore all that to go on stage with. I didn't...
Oh, I don't know. Ulrika, what about you, your early days in Sweden? Wearing ABBA clobber?
Skis.
Purple
or
blue silky jumpsuits?
No, I wasn't very cool at all, ever, and I'm still not cool.
Jack, what about you? You must have been... No, you wouldn't have been trendy, would you?
I was... God, I wasn't. I just never got the point of it. And I've always been... A little bit, and always been. I've always been late on the scene. Do you know what I mean? I've got into the Rolling Stones when I was about 1982 or something, and thought that they were quite good. And the same at the moment, I'm just beginning to listen to the Clash and thinking they're a good band. And
they're with it, aren't they?
Yeah, and someone's told me about the Smiths, so I might check them out soon. But I've always been way too behind everything, and just sort of set my own agenda, and it's all been.
Well, you look vaguely trendy now with that purple cape on. Bob, what about you? I know you were very cool as a youth, weren't you?
I don't know what cool.
With that bell-shaped haircut.
With a wee belchy haircut.
That bell, no, haircut like a bell.
The pursuit of cool. If you pursue cool, you'll end up looking like Peter Andre or the like. You've got to be very careful.
Right, next question then. There, the gentleman there with the blow lamp. What's your name and what's your question, love?
My name's Tony, and does the team think they'd be generous millionaires?
Does the team think they will be a generous millionaire? Well, Bob, would you donate a portion of your fortune to someone, I don't know, like the Sea Cadets or something? Because you've got a huge fortune tied up in...
It's all tied up in...
you can never get older.
In ratatatas. It's all tied up in ratatouille investments, though.
Didn't you put a lot of money into Gatling guns?
Yeah, just after they fell out of fashion, when the Tommy came in. It's... I don't know, I suspect I probably wouldn't be.
What, not generous?
I don't know what to say. I'm penniless.
So am I. I'm potless. You must be Ulrika.
I know.
So, what would you give your money away to someone?
I would, I'm afraid, yeah.
If you, like, you got $1 million for doing
Well, $1 million's not very much nowadays, is it?
All right, 2. So you do something terrible and get you £2 million for it.
Yeah.
Where are you going to give half of it?
I'd probably give 99% of it away. Because
Nah,
I'm
you wouldn't.
stupid. Yeah, I think
You
I would.
wouldn't. You'd
would.
go on a nice big holiday, buy
I'd
a load
take
of...
everyone on a nice
loads
holiday.
of bubble bath or something. Julian, you
Yes.
probably are a multi-millionaire.
Well, I can give and I can receive. And so the answer is yes.
Where would you like to donate it to? A nice chip shop, perhaps, in Sandgate. You got anything to say on this, Jack? 'Cause I'm going to move on.
I'd just like to say I'd give all my money to Ulrika because she's so lovely and generous.
Quite right. Let's move on now to a lady there. Yes, that lady there covered in bunting.
Oh, bunting. What a lovely thought. Doesn't it draw you in?
Yeah. What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Narelle, and my question is, does the team think advertising works?
Does the team think advertising works? Jack, you advertised beer some time ago. Did it work?
Yes, I did.
You just remembered that, didn't you? You forgot all about
I
it.
thought about that. Yeah, no, it did. Well, yeah, I think it did work. I think they sold quite a lot of beer.
I do the Churchill dog at the moment.
Do you?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Like I've got, I don't know if it worked. I'll tell you what, Vic, I've got a bread maker, a waffle maker, and an ice cream maker somewhere buried in my basement, so somewhere along the line that was an
Advertising works.
thing.
Yeah.
What about you, Ulrika? You've advertised a shampoo that stops you from getting fluff.
An anti-dandruff shampoo, and I was the first celebrity that they used.
And did you use it? Did they select you for any reason?
I don't know. I just took the money and
Did they
ran.
stand behind you on the, going up the tube and say, "Oh God, look at all that stuff on her
She
shoulders"?
needs help. It worked, I have to say. Yes,
Yeah.
and a supermarket and newspaper. I've advertised.
You've done that a lot, haven't you?
No, but I've just been around a long time. I'm
But does it
nearing
work?
67. I have to say, my husband's in advertising, so of course it works.
He can get you some nice adverts
I
going.
love
You could be on them
I
all.
think advertising's great.
Yeah. What about you, Julian? Have you advertised anything?
Yes, I've got quite a few cleaning products.
Really?
Yes,
that's right,
I've seemed to have cornered that market.
What? Tell me more. What? And why don't I remember them?
Well, they're
obviously
all...
not worked.
No, lots of washing powder and...
Oh, of course you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Challenge.
And I did a toilet duck
Duck?
thing.
You do toilet duck.
And I am the voice of Scottish laminate flooring.
I remember Jack doing his beer advert, so that's worked.
That's true, but did you buy the beer?
No.
No, because it was non-alcoholic, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
That was Tetley's, wasn't it? See, I would have bought the Tetley's. Thinking, if Jack D says walking around... And I remember the advert very well. You were walking around, you were
That's
tiny,
right, I
walking
remember
around
that.
on some beer.
Yeah.
So I see, that works. but I've got the wrong beer.
Yeah.
You could just advertise grubby little men.
Well, thanks for that. And now it's time for the final question, and it's my own personal question, and it's this. Does the team think that aeroplanes are kept up with string? Because I'm of the firm belief that they are. Because, to be honest, an aeroplane can't stay up there, it's too heavy. Julian.
Well, they can't be. Where would the string be attached to?
Take their clouds. What about you, Ulrika? You must have thoughts on this question.
I've given you all my thoughts. That's
Thank you. So what about you, Jack?
I agree, because, you know, like Airfix...
And Bob?
Yeah.
Let's hear Jack's answer. Come on.
Go on then, Jack.
No, I was going to say Airfix models always used to be kept up with string in,
Exactly.
in your room. You'd make the model and stick it to the ceiling.
It's believable, isn't it?
And then fill the little engines with cotton wool and set fire to that, and you could make it smoke and look like it was crashing.
Ulrika, do you think the rate... You've been on an aeroplane, presumably. Well, you had to get
Once or
over it
twice.
somewhere. It might have been on a rowing boat, I don't know. But have you ever looked up outside the aeroplane and thought, is there some string somewhere?
There must be little people peddling somewhere, do you think?
Well, that's the pilot, isn't it? Anyway, Bob. Any ideas on this
I don't know what
question?
to say. I'm with you that it's a bit of a mystery, but no, I don't think it's with the using strings.
Do you think you could hold up an aeroplane with your bare hands?
No.
There you are. Thank you very much. Well, my lovers, that's the end of the show. I hope you've gleaned at least some sliver of comfort from tonight's conference, and we'll use the information to further your prospects at the power plant. I know I will. Good night. That was Does the Team Think with me, Vic